Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S., and welcome back to Robscure Music. This is going to be another one of my videos where I show some of the physical media that I picked up. And this is in the last month or so, I guess. And I've got a lot, so I'm going to jump right into it. Hopefully this video is not too long. We'll start out with some of the CDs that I picked up. Anyone who's watched this channel or knows me knows that I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan. Unfortunately, we've lost him 2 years ago now, was it? Too soon. This is Christmas Island, combination of classics and others. So nice to get that. I also picked up along the line of Christmas CDs, A Very Special Christmas, number 3. I do have the first one. This has got a number of different and interesting artists doing typical Christmas songs. You've got Sting, The Smashing Pumpkins, Natalie Merchant, No Doubt, Sheryl Crow, Chris Cornell, who we also lost too soon, Mary J. Blige, Dave Matthews, Steve Winwood, Tracy Chapman. So nice to get that. Also picked up Mandisa. This is called True Beauty. Mandisa was an American Idol contestant. She unfortunately passed away last year in April, I think it was, of 2024. She was more of a gospel singer, although this album does have one or two songs that are sort of more hip hop, if you will, a little bit of rap on one of them. But it kind of blends into the song. It's not all rap, it's her singing, and then somebody takes over with some of the, typical rap type of influences. But I like the gospel inspired tunes quite a bit on here. Although True Beauty is really good, Only the World, but Oh My Lord, He Will Come, Voice of a Savior, great to have that. I also picked up Night Ranger, Greatest Hits. Now, I've heard of them. I wasn't too familiar with them. I looked on the back of this. I saw a song called Sister Christian. It sounded familiar to me. I listened to this. It's more heavy rock than I thought it would be. Not overly impressed by it. Maybe a few more listens. I'll grow to like it a little bit better. Probably not an album I'll listen to all that much. Speaking of which, I picked this up not knowing what to expect. Broughton's Rules, Bounty Hunter, 1853. Didn't know anything about this really. As it turns out, this is like a subgenre of alternative rock called math rock. It's heavily instrumental. There's only one song on here where you actually have some sort of vocals. That's a song called Broadside. Math rock is a lot of guitar riffs, unusual time signatures, and it was atmospheric music. I actually played this today while I was working, so it was good like background music to listen to, but it's probably not an album I'll put on a regular basis. I picked up Sweet Vine. Again, not a band I'm familiar with, but when I find these inexpensive things and it strikes my fancy, I say, why not? This is a 1990s band that had, quite frankly, a 70s Lynyrd Skynyrd, Greg Allman type of sound to it, which probably explains why nobody knew them in the 90s. But Sweet Vine, pretty good. I listened to it. I did enjoy it. Speaking of country, we've got Randy Foster and, excuse me, not Randy, Radney Foster. This is his debut album, Del Rio, Texas, 1959. That's his hometown and the year he was born. Show you that track listing. He was part of a duo, Foster and Lloyd, with Bill Lloyd. When they split up, Radney went on to create a lot of these this country sort of influenced tunes, and Lloyd actually gave us, I think, 2 power pop albums. Keeping with the country theme, Tim McGraw, Greatest Hits. I have, I think, 1 album by Tim McGraw, and but not, Greatest Hits. Come on, gotta get that, gotta pick it up. Stay with country. Oh boy, my achy breaky heart. I had to do it. Billy Ray Cyrus. This is a Millennium Collection. There were plenty of these things coming out back in the turn of the century. And there it is, Achy Breaky Heart. And some of you will know that second song, Some Gave All. Very patriotic song. I've got the best of Chris Isaak. I don't have anything by Chris Isaak. I know about him. I know some of his songs. So when I saw this best of, I was like, you know what? I got to pick this up. And it's good. I like it. I also picked up Vance Joy. And I believe he might have been an American Idol contestant as well. I heard this album and I liked it. And so I picked up this one as well. And this was one of his newer ones, if not his newest. And this, I believe, Dream Your Life Away may have been his first album. And, I like Vance Joy. I like his music. But after listening to these, and then what I did was I listened to them back to back. And maybe it was too much Vance Joy at one time. After a while, there was a bit of a sameness to it all. It was like, somewhat repetitious. It was like, yeah, I kind of feel like I've heard this before. Excuse me, I dropped one of my CDs. And I do like variety. So as if you're watching my videos, you can tell I'm kind of all over the place with this. Speaking of which, the Chieftains, Irish influenced music. This is the cover to an album called The Long Black Veil. If you take a look at that, you got some great songs with great artists on here. This is the Chieftains with Sting, Sinead O'Connor, Mick Jagger, Van Morrison, Mark Knopfler, Ry Cooder, Sinead O'Connor, Tom Jones, the Rolling Stones. And I have this album already. And I love this album. So why did I buy it? Because when you're in a place like Savers, where I got this, or any thrift store, you always have to check to make sure the CD is in there, okay? And make sure it's the right one. Guess what? This isn't the right one. But I bought it because I wanted this CD. I couldn't find the right cover, so I couldn't switch it out. So I bought the cover to an album I already have to get a CD I don't have. This is Van Morrison and the Chieftains, Irish Heartbeat. It's March, St. Patty's Day, right on the corner. We already got parades starting. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. I listened to it. It's okay. I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as this Long Black Veil album, but it was okay. I also picked up Helen Schneider, Right as the Rain. I did a video on Helen's first 2 albums, So Close and Let It Be Now, and I love those albums, and I love Helen Schneider. Well, someone recently commented on that old video and said that this was one of their favorite albums by her. So based on that, I bought it. And guess what? They were right. So I don't remember who you are, but thank you for the recommendation. Great album by a great artist. Then I got Danny Harrison, George Harrison's son. This is In Parallel. I'll show you that track listing. And this is somewhat, Indian influenced, some electronic type of music. Very enjoyable, actually. I did like this a lot. I'm not sure it's for everyone, but it's a son of a Beatle. I mean, come on. Speaking of sons of Beatles, James McCartney, The Blackberry Train. Paul McCartney's son, doing very well with this. Too Hard, Unicorn, Waterfall. No, not the Paul McCartney Waterfall. This is a different one. Ballerina. This is pretty good. I kind of like that. And that's it for the CDs. I also have a book, Melanie, Would You Have This Dance? Or May I Have This Dance? By Maddie Miller, who is a friend and photographer. I picked this up, actually. I saw the book, was very interested in it, and Maddie actually ran a brief sale. So I said, okay, now is the time. And I bought this, and guess what? It's actually also autographed, if I can find that page. Here we go. To Robert, Always Together, Maddie Miller, February 14th, 2025. Valentine's Day. Got some great pictures in here. Some of these images we've never seen before. Melanie was unfortunately another one we lost too soon, in my opinion. Again, somebody who sort of fell out of favor, I think, with the larger music listening population. But I've always enjoyed her music and have pretty much everything she's made. So you've got actually pictures like this, which you may have seen before, with Melanie with John Lennon. And I guess that looks like Stevie Wonder there. We've got, I think it's the very next page, is... Oh, no, it's not. Oh, 2 pages later. Melanie with Bob Dylan and Phil Oakes and others. So let's see. We've got this and this. So great to have this. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for putting it together. Thank you for giving me an autographed copy. Okay, now to vinyl. And I got an explanation about some of this. I got these from various places, but the 45s I picked up all in one place. And I was in a small little mall. There were a lot of kiosks set up. I don't know if they're there all the time or if this was a special event. But as I was passing by, there was one storefront. There was one place, and I'm not sure what it was called. Smash It or something. Apparently, it's a shop, and I saw records in the front window, so I had to go in and get it. And you can either save or smash things. They had bottles and TVs and equipment and all kinds of things that you can buy and smash. And so what you do is you go in there, you buy it, you put on this protective gear, you take your sledgehammer, hammer, whatever, or just throw bottles against the wall. You go into a room and you whack the heck out of things and break things and get your anger out, I guess, and all your aggression. So in the midst of all of this, and quite frankly, there are small windows you can look into the rooms. And I looked into one, and there was a family in there, and they had this, like, I don't know if he's 10, 11, 12-year-old kid. Oh, my God. He was going to town on some piece of equipment. It looked like it could have been, I don't know if it was a laptop or just a screen. But, man, he was smashing the hell out of that thing. And I was thinking, these people, there's a lot of anger. And this, while I was in there looking at records, they did a pretty good business. So apparently a lot of people have a lot of aggression that they got to get out. And honestly, it made me uncomfortable, but I looked through the records anyway. So I picked these up and was able to negotiate a discount on these. So we've got the Ronettes, Be My Baby, back with So Young. I also picked up Ooh, The Big Bopper, Chantilly Lace, and The Big Bopper's Wedding. Leslie Gore, what else? It's My Party, and She's a Fool. Jane the Americans, It's Magic Moment, and Walking in the Rain. Benny King, say it with me, Stand by Me. And on the back, I Who Have Nothing. I also picked up Bill Haley in the comments. Guess which one? You got it. Rock Around the Clock and 13 Women. Enough said about that. If you know, you know. Frankie Valli, Our Day Will Come. Backed with, what does it say there now? You Can Bet It Ain't Going Nowhere. Dionne Warwick, Do You Know the Way to San Jose? And Let Me Be Lonely. And finally, The Mamas and the Papas, California Dreamin', and 12:30. Then I picked up 12-inch vinyl. Quite a bit of 12-inch vinyl. So we'll start right from the top here. Elton John. This is what they're calling Chartbusters Go Pop. This is Legendary Covers 69 and 70. This is before Elton John hit it big. He was a studio musician and he did covers of songs that were popular at the time. And I'll show you that track listing. Got In the Summertime. We've got Spirit in the Sky, a Norman Greenbaum song. Traveling Band, Up Around the Bend, a little CCR. Come and Get It, the Paul McCartney penned tune that was such a big hit for Badfinger. We've got It's All in the Game, To Be Young, Gifted in Black, Good Morning Freedom. Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. Yes, Elton John doing Stevie Wonder. And I have this on CD, but I didn't have the vinyl, and it's gold vinyl. So let me show you this. Sweet. This is side 1. Side 2. Nice gold sort of marbled, I don't know what you'd call that, swirl. It's really cool though, and like it doesn't show up here maybe on the, well maybe it does on the video, but it almost looks textured, which would not be good for playing a record, but I kind of like it. I think it's really cool, and this is sort of an unusual album to have because again, it's, you know, Elton before he became the Elton we all know and love. Speaking of Elton, 12-inch single of Nobody Wins from his album The Fox, hence The Fox. Side 1 is Nobody Wins. Side 2 is Nobody Wins in French, the French version. Speaking of 12-inch singles, this is by a group called The Sundays. I have a video about the Sundays. They had, I think, 3 albums. And this is their single, Can't Be Sure, which is from their album Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic, I believe. And this has on the B-side, I Kicked the Boy and Don't Tell Your Mama. Oh, no, your mother. Not your mama. Don't tell your mother that I kicked the boy, I guess. I picked up at Infinity Records, Dump Truck. And this is For the Country. I have no idea who Dump Truck was, but it was $7. It says it's alt rock. It was sealed at the time. I did open it since and listen to it, and I like it. This is a good album. So, Dump Truck, if you see this, I recommend you buy it. Speaking of buy it, John Denver, I Want to Live. This was an album that came out somewhere in the middle of his discography. He had something like 25, 26 albums. This was probably halfway there, late 70s, I think it was. Um, and it's a good album. It's really good. The thing is, John Denver sort of fell out of favor, I think. Um, obviously everybody knows Rocky Mountain Way and Sunshine on My Shoulders, Annie's Song, stuff like that. But he's got a lot of like later albums that are really good and songs that are great. And honestly, I think this is one of them. So people never really like. I think they stopped listening to John Denver, except maybe Matthew Street. So thank you, Matthew, for your continued love of John Denver. But this is a good album, so I was glad to have that and add that to my collection. Another somewhat forgotten artist who was a fantastic songwriter, Mac Davis. I believe in music. I believe in love. And this has, I believe in music, obviously. A little less conversation, that you know that song. Watching Scotty Grow, that was a hit for, and Watching Scotty Grow is about Mac Davis's son, but it was a big hit for Bobby Goldsboro. And Bobby would always have to explain, it's not even my son, like, it's Mac Davis's son. This has also got Poem for My Little Lady, let's see, Yesterday and You. It's Mac Davis. Great songs, great songwriter. Speaking of Mac Davis, Song Painter. And Song Painter is, I think, the single from here. This one actually also has In the Ghetto on it. Has Memories, Whoever Finds This, I Love You, You're Good for Me, Closest I Ever Came. Another good album by Mac Davis. I picked up Nielsen Schmielsen. I had this Harry Nielsen album at one point. It's no longer in my collection for whatever reason. So now it is. And, it's got Without You and Coconuts. So how can you go wrong with that? Of course, it's not 180 gram. It's more like maybe 18, but, or 1.8. But it sounds pretty good. I've got, like probably greatest hits on CD, and that probably sounds better than this, maybe, but it's good to have that. It was discounted. Next one I picked up online. It was more money than probably all these combined, but it's something I really wanted, and it was cheaper online than anywhere else I had seen it, actually by quite a bit. Again, one of my favorite country artists, Tanya Tucker. This is live at the Troubadour. It's got many of her hits, the classics like Delta Dawn and What's Your Mama's Name, Blood Red and Going Down, and also has some of her older stuff, or more recent, like Bring My Flowers Now, which is a great song from a great album. Dionne Warwick, I showed you the 45 before. This is an album, and she had, I think, 2 albums simply called Dionne. This was the later one in 79 or something like that. Yeah, 79. Produced by Barry Manilow. This has got the hit I'll Never Love This Way Again, and I think Deja Vu was a pretty good, pretty big hit for her at that time as well. Oops. I also picked up Diana Ross. And this is Why Do Fools Fall in Love? There you go. That's why. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Sweet Surrender. Endless Love. I mean, come on. O.C. Smith's Greatest Hits. Who's that? Take a look at that. Little Green Apples. It Don't Rain in Indianapolis. Anyway, this got some water damage to the cover down here, but the album itself is in good condition. And I played this. I really wasn't familiar with O.C. Smith other than Little Green Apples, but I like it. So happy to have that. The Fifth Dimension, Greatest Hits. It's got all the classics. I have a similar comp on CD. This has got, Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In, Wedding Bell Blues, The Worst That Could Happen, Stone Soul Picnic, all the classics. I picked up Jimi Hendrix. This is the Essential Jimi Hendrix, Volume 2. I do have Volume 1. And of course, when this came out, it included Gloria, a 45, although I think it's 33, not 45, but actually 33 speed record. It's one-sided. Got Gloria, the Van Morrison penned tune. But check out that second side. It doesn't have anything on it other than this cool etching in the vinyl. So that's nice to have. And, again, it's Jimi Hendrix. Come on, baby. Let's go. Next two, probably going to get me in trouble, but I don't care. I don't care. I like this artist. My daughter actually kind of got me involved in her. I know the artist. Everyone knows this artist. I was familiar with some of her more popular tunes. I saw these in the store and decided, you know what? I'm going to start buying them. And I'll take whatever grief comes my way. Taylor Swift, Reputation. This is a 2-album set, and it is, no, not on colored vinyl, picture discs. There's one, and here's the second one, if I can ever get this out. So again, Reputation. Got some really good songs by Taylor on it, and no, they're not all about, breakups with her boyfriends and whatnot. Lastly, Taylor Swift again. This is her album Lover, and I like this album a lot. And this is on, again, 2 albums, and we've got, this time, colored vinyl, pink and blue. And this has got great songs on it as well. Cruel Summer, Lover, The Man, Death by a Thousand Cuts, and one of my all-time favorites of hers, You Need to Calm Down. Something I want to tell some of those people out on YouTube and on Facebook. You need to calm down. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it was so long, but I had a lot to show. So stay well, friends. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.